Gentlemen, Antonio here. All right, today's video, we're going to talk about 10 things that I think every man should have in his vehicle. Whether you drive a truck, drive a car, ride a motorcycle, you want to be prepared. Because when you're prepared, gentlemen, you can deal with the unexpected. We can't predict the future, but what we can do is control how prepared we are for common situations out there. I've been driving vehicles for over 20 years. I've owned multiple vehicles, and I've always made sure that my vehicles are as prepared as they can be. This has saved me multiple times from being stranded on the side of the road to whenever, I've had it so my keys are locked in the vehicle, to whenever I've hit a deer, and to be able to deal with that situation. Life is going to throw you a lot of curveballs, gentlemen, and some people appear to be lucky. Honestly, luck is equal to preparation meeting opportunity, and you can be lucky. So take these items, and guys, if you've got something to add, I love hearing from you down in the comments below. Go let me know, Antonio, you missed this. You could have gone into more detail here. In addition, I've got a support article over at Real Men Real Style. I'm going to go beyond these 10. I'm going to talk about a number of other items which weren't essential. Most everything I'm going to talk about here, I feel, were the 10 essentials. All right, let's get into it. So number one, have a spare key on your vehicle. Now, this works out pretty easy for me. I've got an older truck, about 20 years old, and I keep a spare key hidden on there. Yes, you're going to run into the issue of it's going to send your alarm off. However, you can get in there to your keys. Having kids in there, in our minivan, we have had a 3-year-old lock herself in the minivan. My wife has locked herself out of the van. And yes, I show up with the spare key, the alarm goes off, but that door opens. We're able to get in there, get the keys without having to break the window. Find a way to get a spare key and hide it on your vehicle. Also, if it's great to have another set at home, especially with someone, something that can turn the alarm on or off. Number two is get that spare tire and make sure it's not flat. So I have bought used vehicles. Didn't come with a spare, and we didn't know that till 6 months after, almost to the point that I'm glad we checked because we did actually need it. So make sure that your spare is good to go, that it actually is there. Also, make sure you've got the tools. Make sure that you know how to use the jack. It's better to look now when you've got light than at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, how do I even use this jack? You also want to make sure that you've got the tools to be able to take that tire off. Oftentimes what your car comes with is just not going to be adequate, or it's going to be a lot harder. So make sure that you've got those tools. Number three, carry a good first aid kit. You can buy one for $10, or you can put your own together. I worked with my son to put together first aid kits. We've got 2 in our house and 1 in each vehicle. These come in handy all the time. Kid scrapes, one of my daughters scrapes herself. We have Princess Band-Aids in our first aid kit, plus Neosporin and everything else. But there's also important to have a booklet in there, so in case you do come across someone who's gone into shock. With my kids, I've tried to give them some basic first aid training. Maybe it's the Boy Scout, the Marine in me, but I'm always, trying to get them thinking about what are you going to do if you run into this situation. But a big part of it is having that first aid kit handy. Number 4, jumper cables. If you don't know what jumper cables are, if you don't have them in your vehicle, stop now, go to the article, get some basic jumper cable. It is incredibly important to have jumper cables. I use these all the time. And I live in a part of the world where it gets deathly cold. So I not only have jumper cables, but I've also got these jumping devices. This one made by JNC, I've probably used this 20 times over the last 5 years to help other motorists stranded on the side of the road. I've helped my neighbor get her car started. Number 5, have a bright jacket. I've had this Helly Hansen in my truck for 20 years, and it's a great jacket. I love it. I don't normally wear it though. I like a bright jacket because if I'm getting out of my vehicle late at night, I can simply put this on. So basically it's acting as a reflective vest. In addition, if it's cold, hey, I've got this to keep me warm. Any of my kids are cold, I've got this as an extra blanket. Somebody's in shock on the side of the road, I can use it as a blanket. So many uses for a bright, very warm jacket. Also, make sure it's water resistant. If you're going to be in snow and you're going to have to walk half a mile to a gas station in a little bit of a blizzard, you want something that's going to block the wind and is going to keep out any of the wetness. Number 6, the toolkit. So I have a multi-tool in my glove compartment. I like the knife on it, but I also have a proper toolkit in the back. I rarely ever use this toolkit. So I went with one that was packaged up. This one made by Stanley. It works fine. Now, this one sits in my truck, and I've got the same exact one in my wife's van. It's there just in case we need to be able to get under the hood and make a small adjustment. If we hit a deer and you've got some, literally you've got to, remove parts out of, the vehicle so that you can keep driving, that's what a toolkit is there for. Number 7, water and food. Water, much more important. You cannot go very long, just maybe a day and a half, 2 days without water. With food, you can go a week. So you're fine there. I do keep MREs in there. And my kids, if they ever say, oh, I'm really hungry, I'm like, well, we got the emergency MRE. Nobody ever touches it, but at least it will sustain us in an emergency situation. In my truck, I keep about 6 of these. In our van, I keep about 8 to 12. Now, you need about a gallon per day. That's what they recommend. I think you can get away with about a half a gallon per day in an emergency situation. But, again, this is more for emergencies. Number 8 is the flashlight. I keep this one by Maglite. I really like it. The batteries last a long time. I do keep an extra set, and we use it quite a bit. If you're not going to be used, if you have a smaller flashlight, then remove the batteries, put them in a plastic bag. I also like this one. I can use it as a hammer or a weapon if we've got maybe some type of animal that's outside the vehicle and won't let us get outside the vehicle, or maybe I would just stay in the vehicle at that point. Number 9, I've got an extra wallet. With this extra wallet, I've got about $25 in cash. I also have around $10 in change I keep in the vehicle, in the glove box. Also, I've got an expired license and a credit card. Just in case, I need to be able to show some form of ID. Most people don't check the dates. And it's, the credit card, I use it once every 6 months to make sure it's working, not expired. And I can use this if I really need to be able to run gas and forget my wallet. Finally, a map. I know a lot of you guys have GPSs and you say, Antonio, I don't need a map. Well, there are places where you're not going to get a signal, and where having a good map is going to be very useful. Okay, so what were the items I didn't choose to include? Again, I go into that more here in the article, but guys, in that article, I'm going to talk about, the tissues. I carry extra business cards. I've always got a nice book so I can read, and I can double this book if I have to start a fire with a fire starting device. Duct tape, sunglasses, a miniature grooming kit, just in case it's, I've got kids, we brush their teeth late at night when we're coming home because they're always asleep in the vehicle. I've also got my songs of the Marine Corps for motivation, and yes, that is a cassette tape. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Would love to hear from you down in the comments. Go check out the article, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.